This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details. Just in case you missed it, it's the top 5 sports talkers of the day. Now, it's time for Dan Barrero's Top 5 at 5. Brought to you by Gutter Helmet of Minnesota. Never clean your gutters again. Learn more at gutterhelmetmn.com.
If you ever go to Houston, got to walk right, got to keep your hands deep in your pocket and your gun belt tight. Find the light, be the light, and when you get in trouble, when you get confused, somehow, some way, please reach Dan Barrero and find that path back to the promised land at the top of the mountain. From the top, Minneapolis, to the bottom at New Orleans. Yeah, meet me at the bottom. Don't lag behind. Bring me my boots and shoes, and please bring me Dan Barrero. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. I haven't played that one in a while. My blunder. For some reason, I all of a sudden thought, well, these are where it's in football season and it's an 8-minute break.
Not yet.
Not quite there. Getting there, but not quite.
I'm just glad to see you.
I was sprint back from the other end.
Yeah, I was thinking,
almost had a Halvey moment.
We played that 2 days ago because Halvey joined me to give a live update on Corey Coe's World Series of Poker exploits.
Oh.
And so to lead into that, I played the Hermantown bit and basically said, we all know if there's something live going on, you got to have Halvey. And it's just a good excuse in July to play Halvey.
You know what we haven't played yet? Good luck.
You're right.
I mean, we're running out of, I think actually Summer League continues next week, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I need to do it today.
Okay.
Today's a good day to do it, too.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you have time.
You just reminded me of it. All right. Nelly is playing Target Field tonight.
Not Don Nelson.
No.
Not that Nelly. Not that the NBA Nelly.
He was just awarded some big award right at the finals.
He was basically he hasn't left Maui, I think, in years. That's the only way they convinced him to do it. This was like a big shot, big time award. So he came back. He came back to the mainland for the award. And as you say, he had a press conference during the NBA Finals. And it looked terrific. Looked wonderful.
Not a lot of problems.
It's good to be Nelly, man.
Yeah, it's good to be Nelly.
It's good to be Nelly, for sure.
Hanging out in Maui. He's growing marijuana.
Yeah,
he golfs with Owen Wilson and celebrities that come through.
It's as good as it gets.
So there's a Nelly concert tonight. But first, you have to go to the Twins game.
Wow.
And
you have to?
Well, you don't have to. You can go late.
Could you sell your ticket and get like a profit if you want to leave like in the third inning?
Poll ads are keeping that. Poll ads are keeping that while they can.
Probably true.
But I did see Aaron Gleeman, who we're going to have in studio next week, tweet out that the Twins did throw out. There's going to be a lot of people there tonight because people like Nelly, and it's a nice night, and people do still like baseball.
A little steamy.
But they did release a bunch of like $30 tickets as well. So for anybody, and there's tickets available, but they put them, I think, at a different price point so people can just pop in. I'd go to the Loon, hang out, watch the game, maybe head over in the 7th. Go to Fogo or go to the Loon and hang out and then go watch the concert. But it is a nice pitching matchup. It's Paul Skeens and Joe Ryan. A couple of good pitchers there.
Right.
So that's the first pitch at 7:10. And I don't think there's anything else we really need to say about that, is there?
No, I think that's enough for now. We're hot. We won 4 out of our last 6 at home.
Including 2 or 3 from your Cubs.
That's correct. So what's the Buxton? Did you give the Buxton injury update while I was reading that text?
I don't think I did.
Okay. Do we know, what his status is?
Let me see. I don't. I probably should have checked it.
That's worth checking. While you do that, I think this is paranoia, but maybe I'll be proved wrong. Dan, They bought the team for $1.5 billion. If they moved to Vegas and agreed to pay the expansion fee of, let's say, $5 billion, they would have $6.5 billion invested. Based on the current sale value of the Lakers, what do you think the value of a ready-to-go conference finals NBA team in Vegas would be? That's why I'm concerned. It is absolutely worth it for them to move. But they have to be given the opportunity to do it.
Yes.
And that's what I think is still missing from this equation at this point. Anyway.
Buck is back in the lineup tonight.
Good for him. Tough guy. Didn't take long.
And I should have known that because he was doing home run derby practice before the game. And I did see that. Are we going to
regret him being in the derby?
I mean, why? What's at stake for us after the All-Star game?
Well, that's true.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I get it. He might get hurt. He might ruin his swing, but
yeah.
I actually think that's a cool story. I brought it up on Enough Said tonight when we went on endlessly about the Twins.
More than we intended.
When Lori left us hanging and basically forgot to wrap us up. The fact that Buck gets to do the All-Star game in his home state and the home run derby, I do think I'm not as cold-hearted to think that means nothing. I'm happy for him there. Like when remember when Glenn Perkins got the save here? You were probably there. Speaking of buying tickets, when Perk got the All-Star game save here at Target Field.
Yes.
That was an awesome moment.
It was a great moment.
And the way he said, God, and he was post-game, he's like,
weather is perfect.
Man, I'd love to be...
Except for the woman who had the iPad up for the entire game.
I wondered if you'd remember that.
Yeah.
That was Jeet's last All-Star game. Think about that. We got to be there for that. What a great life.
Did you see yesterday, I think was the anniversary of Jeet's 3,000th hit, and it was a home run.
I remember it. Yeah.
Brilliant call on that game. Anyway, sorry.
Speaking of baseball... Alex Rodriguez. Oh, this isn't the one I want to play. Hang on. Here's A-Rod today, as Lori and A-Rod were, I guess, reintroduced to everybody in Las Vegas.
In case anybody was confused about who the new owners of the Wolves were, they were reintroduced today.
Here's A-Rod talking about the need, not the want, Dan, the need for a new ballpark.
Yeah, Sean, when you think about it, these arenas, and I was in several teams that went from old stadium to new stadium. I did it in Seattle from the Kingdom to Safeco, and obviously
is that
in
code?
New York from old Yankee Stadium to new Yankee Stadium. And back in the day, you could probably say it was a vanity. It was a nice little treat to have. Today is a necessity. If you want to compete at the level we want to compete year in and year out, a new arena is what our fans deserve. We're in the very, very early stages. We've done a great deal of work over the last 3 years. But an arena in Minneapolis for our fans would be absolutely awesome. And we have great role models in our own market. I mean, you see the way the Vikings run their shop is really admirable. The U.S. Bank Field is beautiful. And then the Minnesota Twins, that's actually one of my favorite stadiums to play. Top 2 or 3
of course it is.
Baseball. I mean, they just did an impeccable job. So you see what these arenas do for communities, but talk about community service. I mean, an arena is an anchor to the community.
There you go. Not a lot of details.
They just can't say it. I guess none of them do, right? None of them are going to say, and we need the money.
Yes.
We want to make more money.
We need more club sections.
I think the average fan would be aroused by that honesty. Say, yeah, okay, that's cool. Go ahead and say it. It's okay. It's not illegal. But no, it's not like they're unusual. None of them will say it. But I just never understood why it's that difficult to, even artfully, throw in the mix. Because he can sling the BS pretty well, so you'd think there'd be an artful way for him to do it. So we'll see. I mean, now they're on the clock. So it will be, I think part of what will be interesting to discover is what their strategy is going to be and how quickly they wheel this stuff out. Because they've had enough time to think about it. Where, to me, they'd have a plan in place already, and they're already, they're gonna hit the ground running on this thing to at least give people a better insight into what they're thinking about doing. I mean, what A-Rod keeps talking about is the desire to build around it, right?
Of course.
So then that gets back to, well, where is that practical downtown? And that's what makes some people paranoid about the possibility of this thing leaving downtown, right? Is if they're looking for this quote-unquote footprint, do those footprints exist in any meaningful way downtown? Now, who wrote the story we quoted from? Somebody got into this. One of the local, forgive me, I can't, was it?
Are you talking
Platt
about? Are you talking about the city center?
Yeah. Who
that
wrote
was
about that?
Well, I just had his name Halter. That was Nick Halter. We had him on the show.
Exactly.
It was. I love that idea.
He threw out some possibilities there. He admitted some of them might be impractical, but to me, that's going to be the first thing to follow. Is how adamant are they going to be about this footprint being big enough for these larger plans? And if you don't get them, then what's plan B? If that's a non-starter, then essentially you're saying there's a chance you're going to move the team not out of the market, but out of downtown Minneapolis, which I think would be unfortunate.
Unless maybe they put it somewhere along the Southwest Light Rail train, and then that finally gets done. It becomes a package.
There you go.
Says we're going to make it bigger.
Yeah.
It might be
very
done.
galvanizing.
What's going to be done first? The Southwest Light Rail, which still has, we drive by them all the time, just beautiful stations ready to go. But no trains.
They are gorgeous aesthetically. They're
can't you imagine just living in one of those apartments or condos and going right down to the train to get to work? It looks incredible. Unfortunately, it's like 2028, I think. What's built first? The new arena?
I'm thinking the new arena.
I think so, too.
I think there's a good chance of that, yeah.
This didn't make the Common Man program. They didn't play this part. I don't even know if you saw this, but you mentioned, is there a flowery, artful way to message this stuff better? In addition to announcing their partnership with Jump, the ticket app, A-Rod and Lori talked about they have hired the same people that prepared Tim Walz for his congressional testimony to help them with some messages as well. Public relations thing.
So that's another $500,000.
That's why they need to sell the tickets twice.
Yeah.
Because they got to pay for that.
That explains it.
You want to straddle and get to Mark Cuban and maybe the Meerkat versus David?
That's not a bad idea.
Versus Chris Webber?
Let's do that. And then we got Lavelle scheduled to join sometime at the bottom of the hour. Stay tuned.
Fan and BigDeck.com. I'm going to give you a shot to win bonus bucks. It is our national cash contest. And the final keyword of the week is bonus. Go to KFAN.com and enter the keyword bonus. And
all right, we're extending the top 5 at 5. You had some more sound that I think you wanted to play. Is that correct?
yeah, you alerted me to this Mark Cuban sound because all the rage right now is second apron, hard to build a team, find a team, pay a team.
You're almost assuring that you're going to be tearing it down as soon as these big contracts start piling up on you. The way Oklahoma City now seems to be piling them up, correct?
Yes. Now, in Vegas, Mark Cuban caught up with your guy, Justin Termini, and I believe Eddie Johnson on Sirius XM.
Makes sense.
And said, yeah, it's expensive, but what's more expensive in the grand scheme of things is losing one of those guys.
Do you have confidence in him? And should they?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Right. Trades are trades. I let Steve Nash go.
Yeah.
And the whole town hated my ass for a long time. Like, not a little bit.
We loved you in Phoenix.
Yeah, I know, right? And he goes and he wins 2 MVPs, and I got nothing back for him, right? Not every decision is one everybody's going to agree with, but there's a lot more to being a general manager. And particularly now with the new CBA and the second apron, trying to put together a team and being able to keep together a team is a lot harder. You saw what OKC did, which was smart. They signed all those guys now, and people are like, how can you sign all these guys to money? Well, they sign it now because the cap is as low as it's going to be for a while, and they know it's going to go up 10% a year, so it kind of positions them well. Nico's done the same thing. We've got guys, everybody but PJ's on an extended contract, so we're going to keep on having more and more room because those contracts are locked in.
Boom. So that's, I think, at least needs to be put under consideration here in the concern. The second apron stuff's real, and my guess is it's going to be moderated. There's going to end up being a middle ground reached the next time the CBA gets opened up. I don't even know when that'll be, or if there's a way to even do that in an emergency fashion, because on all of these there's a balancing act that needs to be put back in proper order. An overreaction to what started this obviously was Durant going to Golden State and tipping the competitive balance in such an absurd degree that everybody lost their minds. But part of, I think, what Cuban is saying, because now they've already signed SGA, right? Long term.
To his big max.
And then the two that they just announced back to back.
Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams.
Exactly. And
to their rookie extensions.
Exactly. But yet each, at the most can be a significant amount of money as it is. I think part of Cuban's point is you're still better off doing it now because that number is only going to go up if you wait. And in the interim, your cap number in this league is going to continue to go up pretty dramatically, I think, the next 3 or 4 years. So again, it's not nirvana. It still opens the door to some problems down the road, but that when people say, what's Oklahoma City doing? I mean, why are they rushing this? You can make that argument, and maybe that will be a problem if that at least two of these players don't continue to improve at the same level, and you start going, wait a minute, what do we do? So they're doing this on spec a little bit, but they're doing it also on the basis of this is going to end up being a smaller proportion of the cap because the cap's going to keep going up. And so we've got at least some level of cost containment, as obscene given these contracts are, as obscene as that sounds.
Cap percentage is interesting. Now, that's more of the number, I think, that front offices look at than we do. We always look at the numbers and go, wow, so-and-so is $50 million or whatever. But cap percentage, I think, actually it factors in as much as anything.
A quick item from Cooper Flagg last night. I don't know how much you saw of him. I saw a decent amount of it.
I saw none.
And
Cinema.
Well, here's what, and I guess, again, it's indicative of sort of where we're at here. I was just looking at some of the roundups on Flagg's performance, and it's a continued obsession on the wrong stuff that I think bothers some of us who've been following pro basketball for a long period of time. And by the way, we understand aesthetics. I grew up when the slam dunk competition or covered slam dunk competitions when they meant something and when they were fun, right? So I'm not here to say that individual artistry doesn't have a place in pro basketball. But the obsession last night was, oh man, he came so close. He tried to do a windmill slam dunk and came up just short. If he'd have been able to do that, the place would have come, they basically would have burned the place down. And I'm thinking again, why? Why is that so important to people? When in the end, he shot poorly, but I thought overall played I don't even know how to condition people on this, to try to encourage them to. We talked about this a few weeks ago about how too many of, it seems like even young analysts are more fascinated with the Gilbert Arenases of the world. You seem more fascinated with what's his bag of tricks? Yeah. What's his handle?
He's cooking.
As opposed to what kinds of winning plays can he make that can help a team get to the, basically to the promised land or give them the best chance to get the best out of the rest of their talent. Why is that so difficult? So last night, what I thought was most interesting to watch on Flagg, and a few people get it, Sam Mitchell included, was how did he move? How did he challenge himself? He shot poorly. He had his last shot of the game was an air ball. It was a bad-looking shot. It was an awkward-looking shot. But what Mitchell talked about was the shooting is going to come and go, and he's probably got to work on his shot a little bit, and he's got to probably understand it's going to be more difficult for him to create a shot at this level. But what am I looking for? How does he move? Is he trying to guard people? Is he setting screens? Is he rebounding? He had a couple of outstanding rebounds in the game. He just moves well. And to me, whether he made that stupid-ass dunk or not wouldn't have changed a thing in that regard. But because that's the clickbait world we're in, it's all about the dunk that didn't happen. A dunk that didn't happen being this sort of missed opportunity when, again, there's so much more, I think, that should be part of how people go about their business of evaluating that I actually find just as arousing. And again, I like a great slam dunk. They're fun. Who
doesn't? Terrence Shannon had a great one.
Anthony Edwards, Terrence, exactly right. But it goes. We keep talking about it like, well, I don't understand. But this is what encourages it is, well, that's the better headline, and there's the video, and he got it up in the air, but then he was a little bit off balance. I don't know who was defending at the rim, but he got fouled on the play, but it ended up being short off the front of the rim. So we're happy for everybody who continually want to live their lives through splashy plays. Even though if you're invested in the sport at all, and presumably that means you care about winning, you understand there's so many other plays that have to have much more to do with whether you win or lose.
Do we want to hear from David Kahn?
Why not? It's never too late, is it?
No, we've got a couple of minutes here, and I think it's instructive because everybody, we're all bummed out that the Wolves made it to the Western Conference Finals twice, but it doesn't seem like we can get over that last hurdle right now. We're just beating our head against the Western Conference Finals wall. Perspective is a good thing, don't you think? Like a healthy thing.
Every once in a while.
To remember what it used to be like. And we're worried about Think about it.
This is Summer League. What year? Do we know?
I don't. I can look whenever. I'll look it up while we're playing.
Look it up because that's instructive too.
Well, let's do this. Darko signs with Timberwolves because that's what this whole thing is about.
That's exactly it. It was that off season. You're 100% right.
So it was 2010.
Okay, so that's now 15 years ago.
This is the 15-year anniversary.
15-year anniversary of one of the greatest bumper-to-bumper sound bites that has been played into the ground in the history of the program.
David Kahn, courtside, talking to Chris Webber, and we're not sure who the play-by-play guy is, but we'll figure that out.
I'm still intrigued with Darko Milicic. What do you see that no one else sees that Darko has? What do you see that he brings to the table and that can come out under your team?
I think that Darko came over here way too early. I think he made a terrible mistake and should have never been picked second in the draft. However, the people that picked him second in the draft saw the talent and the skill that he has. And he went through a very rough patch in Detroit. He was just way too immature and young to really handle the NBA lifestyle. When he went to Orlando, he started to play pretty well. And I spoke to Brian Hill about this, and Brian liked him a lot. But they went in a different direction that summer when they signed Rashard Lewis, had renounced him. Then he goes to Memphis. It's not a great situation there. And he goes to New York, and for whatever reason, Mike D'Antoni chose not to play him. With us, it was like manna from heaven. I mean, he's 7'1", legitimately. He moves fluidly like a forward. He's got it. I haven't seen a big man pass like him. He really does pass like Vlade. Wow. In that respect. You know, you can see
Vlade Divac.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
He's a great passing big man. And Vlade will be the first one to tell you that. Vlade's known about the kid since he grew up in Serbia, 70 miles north of Belgrade. So nobody is jumping up and down yet. What Darko needs to do is put a whole season together, but he's gotten married. He has a boy. I think that he's much more mature than he was when he broke in the league, and we expect him to have a decent little season. And I think he has a great chance of being our starting center.
Yeah, and I asked that question, not thinking of him the way that you did, but one thing that, every guy that's played this game knows is that all it takes is for someone to believe in you and put you in a position for success. So I'll definitely be looking forward to watching his growth with you guys this year.
Well, and I think that your career is somewhat indicative. I mean, what year was it that you really felt like you were in your own in the league?
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but we're not talking about me and Darko at the same time. No.
But not till you got to Sacramento. Did your career take off?
Well, I don't want to talk about me. We're talking to you, and we're not going to talk about me and Darko in the same sentence.
I'm not suggesting, Chris, that your career mirrored it.
Joking, David.
But it takes time for some of these guys. everybody's so impatient.
And the fact that he's young and the fact that he's tall, it's just, you just want to know when other teams is giving up on a guy kind of or not played them for reasons or behind the scenes we don't know. And so just want to know what it was with him that you saw, and definitely be looking forward to seeing that this year.
Never gets old. It never actually
15 years ago
gets old. I think it was Matt Weiner. Wasn't that the other guy?
Could be.
I think that's who it was, or however you pronounce his name. I think it's Matt.
Now we're worried about our team is so good, people are going to want to buy better tickets in the arena while they're already in the arena just so they can sit closer.
Yeah, it is every once in a while worthy of a reality check. And that doesn't mean you can't ever question or challenge that, you want this team to take the next step. But it feels like it's amazing it was that long ago, because it feels like it was more recent than that emotionally, right? It really does. And because it just sticks with you that was the kind of stuff that Wolves fans had to deal with on a regular basis. And this wasn't just about David Kahn. It's just about, trying this new plan or grabbing this guy who wasn't any good anyplace else, but maybe you can make something out of him, and hoping that somebody could break through, right? Some coach or some general manager could break through in some significant way. And in the meantime, you get mired in that kind of nonsense where the best, the only exposure the Minnesota Timberwolves can get at the Summer League is ridicule.
Good luck.
By, an NBA legend, Chris Webber, about this effort to sell Darko Milicic, who had a minute and a half here, and it never really translated into anything very significant, did it?
Other than we all learned what manna from heaven was.
Yeah, that's true.
That was what Meerkat was good at, educating. Yeah. He's a very well-read guy.
Speaking, didn't he also, he had a minute or two with Michael B. Easley, didn't he, Con, where he kind of outed him and got in trouble for...
Said he smoked too much
pot, and then got in trouble for that.
I think he got fined for that.
But did I see a note, this was within the last 6 or 8 weeks, is he in the...
Beasley?
The
Beasley? The 3-on-3 thing?
And did I see some story about he was demanding a trade?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, how easily would that have... I mean, it fit perfectly. I want to believe that it's true. Maybe we can find out. I'll even look it up perhaps during the break. But, yeah, I'm glad we remembered to play it because it's... it's right up there with the greats that we've overused. And I don't even say we overused it because we generally tend to do it once a year.
Right now.
Right? This is the time we do it. And it makes all the sense in the world because it...
Vladidivas.
It defines an era of Wolves basketball so crystal clear. And it also does better illuminate the contrast between then and where we are today.
That might have just helped sell like a couple dozen season tickets.
Yeah, that's true.
At Timberwolves.com for the upcoming season because that's how good we have it now.
Lavelle Neal III, where is he? I don't think he's coming into studio, but he'll join us now. Breaking Lavelle Neal III news. He's brought to you by Allery's Bar and Barbecue in downtown St. Paul. Bob will join us via the Connecticut Water Systems hotline. I'm very concerned when I hear that apparently you had some involvement in a road rage incident earlier this afternoon. What's this all about?
Yeah, I was coming back from, first of all, thanks for having me. Appreciate it very much. I was coming back from golf, and I was on Highway 52 headed south toward the home, and I was doing like 63, 64 miles an hour, and all of a sudden a Jeep rolls around me, and a hand comes flying out of the window as he passes me. So then I stick my hand out of the window as they're going, what are you talking about? So then the hand gesture became a middle finger.
Of course.
So then I stick my hand out again, there's another middle finger. Then there's a fist. And then we're going down the highway. I'm throwing my hand out going, what are you talking about? And he keeps giving me the finger. And I'm like, what the hell did I do? I'm doing 63. It's not like I'm driving too slow. It's rush hour. You know, you don't move over. If I'm in the middle of the state of Minnesota on the highway, yeah, you move over for the guy in the left lane that's going faster. But you don't do that in a metropolitan area. Come on. So it just so happened that, we got off at the same exit. So He was making a left turn. I was making the right turn. So I stopped next to him before I made my right turn and stuck my hand out, waved and smiled at him, and then went on my way.
Did he? So you never had a conversation?
No.
Just a lot of sign language?
No.
Well,
because I don't know why he's mad. Because I got on. I was on Lafayette Road, so off 7th Street. So I went straight to enter the highway. So it's not like I cut off anybody. I was already in the lane. You know.
Well, here's the problem.
I have no idea why this person was so flippant with me.
Well, here's an idea, a possibility. Were you in the left lane?
I was.
Were you impeding his ability to get around you?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, if you got a car coming up, the way it's supposed to work, you got a car coming up behind you that clearly wants to go a little faster than you're going. What was the speed limit on that road?
55.
55 or 65?
55.
You sure?
Absolutely, positively.
All right. Well, technically what people will tell you is it doesn't matter. You're not supposed to be the police, so you're supposed to get over, let the chowderhead get past you, and then get back in the left lane if you want to. Just saying.
No, I'm not buying that in the metropolitan area during rush hours. A bunch of cars on the road.
Oh,
Now, if I'm on the highway driving to Milwaukee or something,
right,
and I'm in the left lane, I see a car coming up behind me, then I'm moving over. But in the city, I'm not buying that.
Well, but you're on a highway. I mean, it wasn't like you weren't on a city street, right?
No, doing 62? No, I better not be.
All right. Well, just saying. You're going to get. We'll see what the texts are that come in. You're already getting ripped.
And I don't care. I barely get in accidents. I barely get speeding tickets. Yeah. I've been a pretty conscientious driver through my life. Well, there are areas where yes, you need to get over. But I'm sorry, in a city area and there was already a bunch of cars on the road. It's rush hour. Just getting over for someone who's going faster than you. I'm not, especially when I'm doing 62. I'm doing 7 miles over the speed limit.
Here's the key to me. Here's the key to me on it. If you're talking about all you are doing, that there is literally steady traffic ahead of you, also in the left lane, and you are keeping a legitimate distance between you and the vehicle right in front of you, then I think you have a leg to stand on. But if you didn't, if there was open road ahead of you, relatively speaking, then I think you got to get over.
Well, it's a rush hour situation, so technically he's supposed to be a car length for every 10 miles an hour we're going, right?
Yeah.
So technically his ass is supposed to be 6 car lengths behind me.
A law enforcement source who shall remain nameless is calling you out. Just saying.
I'm listening. What did he say? Or he
calling you out that you got to get over. Unless that was where my question I think was crucial, because I think what should mitigate the normal rules is if it's literally right in front of you, there's vehicles, and you're pretty close to the vehicle in front of you, you got nowhere to go because it's just a steady line of traffic, as you say, in rush hour, then to me, I don't have a lot of patience for the chumbalone behind who's going to still try to make a big issue of it. That's what we're trying to get determined.
Let's just carry this out. Okay, so he went around me, flipped me off, and where did he get him? He was directly in front of me for the entire road until we got off at the same exit. Because there was a boatload of cars on the highway.
Okay, then that's legit. I'm hearing 52 is 55 miles per hour till 494, then goes to 65 south of 494. Correct. Is that correct? Okay.
That's correct. That's how I get home. I live off of Highway 52.
So you know all this. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Right. Well, the good news is nothing bad, worse happened, because, again, we try to tell people that we're all capable of getting in these nonsensical battles, but there's always that concern, as you know, that the other chumbalone, you know what your limits are, right? The worst you're going to do is gesture, right? The problem is there's a chance the other idiot is going to do something worse than that, and that's the nightmare scenario, right?
I'm right about that. I'm guilty of. I get the red ass pretty quick when bad things happen.
I do too. I'm not denying it. It's just it's easy. It's always easy to remind the other person of it, because when it's yourself, it's harder to be that objective about it. But that's always what I worry about. Is I know, like I said, the limits that I have, and that's it. I'm not going to get out of my car. I'm not going to confront anybody any of that. But there's people that live for that crap, Lavelle. That's the sad part.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
By the way, speaking of controversies, I was unaware of this. Let me see if I can find it. Where did it go? Man, the texts are pouring in. I mean, it's always the kind of subject that gets people going. Clayton from Rochester. Did Lavelle hear about the play at the plate where the announcer said the runner was Lavelled, thrown out before they got home? That's from Clayton. Is that true? Did the Twins, these experimental Twins broadcasters, did they use that approach?
I don't remember hearing that. I wasn't listening. No, the only time I listened to the broadcast was yesterday, because I know Terry Ryan was at the ballpark.
Yes.
And he was going to read the scouting reports he prepared before he drafted Perkins, Morneau, and Plouffe. So I wanted to listen to that segment. So I was in the press box and actually put the game on my computer so I can listen to that segment. But no, I don't know anything about Lavelling. I never know that Lavelle was a verb.
Well, it's becoming one. I think
it could go a lot of ways.
Although when my friends at the local watering hole, when they see me come in and start asking for them to change channels to certain sporting events, they have used Lavelle as a verb.
Yeah. As in they got Lavelled?
Yes.
Because
or La Diva is the other name I get thrown at me.
That's fair. By the way, Gaardsy and I both liked the experimental TV on the Twins broadcast the last several games. I had visions of disaster, that no one was going to really be in charge with that many different people being on and none of them having been play-by-play people. But I thought it went well. I enjoyed it as a change of pace. I don't think I'd want it all the time, but I don't think they intend to use it all the time. I actually thought it was a pretty good experiment.
It was good content.
Yeah.
Good relating of their experiences as players. I think they all play with each other, so they get along well. So they're able to have that rapport, from when they were in the clubhouse together, came out. on the television screen. And I talked to the producers, and they challenged each one because they had Perk moderate, be like the main guy on Tuesday, Morneau on Wednesday, and Plouffe yesterday. So they wanted all of them to get that type of experience during trying to be a traffic cop.
Sure.
For the other two, which I thought was a nice move.
Extremely nice. So what were do you remember what the scouting reports were like that Terry quoted from?
Mostly positive. They mentioned something about Perkins was not a great athlete and needs to work on his defense. And this is fun. This is some behind-the-scenes stuff. I talked to the Twins about it, and they said they read Perkins's scouting report to him before they went on air just to make sure it wouldn't strike a nerve. And Perk heard it, and his reply was, Terry signed me for $1.5 million. He can write whatever he wants in that sheet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jack Morris would agree with that scouting report. In fact,
oh boy, here we go. Come on, Perk, let's go.
I think Jack still believed it like 10 years into his career, unfortunately, right?
Show us what you can do.
God, that's so good.
Couldn't find the
other one. I can't believe it. The other one's gone, you think?
I'll have to go back in a podcast and find it.
God, it was so good. It was so good. It's just so wonderful. By the way, are you ready for your concession column? Have you reached the point where you think it is time for the Twins to sell?
No, not at all.
Oh, come on.
You don't. And first of all, is this bumper to bumper, or is this Dr. Dan's Tales from the Time Machine? Because you've been able to hurdle yourself 3 weeks into the future and see where the Twins are at, and come back saying they have no chance.
They're done.
We don't know.
Yeah, we do.
But they are a week and a half of good baseball away from being a threat in the wild card. You don't give up when I think they're 4 games back after losing yesterday. You don't give up on that. You got winnable games against Pittsburgh. Tonight's going to be a tester with Skeens on the mound. Then you come out of the break with 3 at Colorado. There's a chance to get some momentum before you hit the Dodgers, which could be a bad beat. But they got some winnable games coming up until the end of July. You don't give up when you're this close. That's just a bad signal to the clubhouse. Then okay, they're giving up, so they're going to give up, and then everything's just going to go pear-shaped. You try to win as much as you can until you got no shot.
Well,
I know the trade deadline's coming up. You like to see them add instead of subtract.
Yeah, well, that's the point. They're not going to add.
I think they'll end up standing pat because I don't think they can add payroll. But I don't think they should sell. So unless they go on an 8-game losing streak, then maybe you have to revisit it. But right now, no. Yeah, but when you're 4 games back, wild card's fine.
I think you kind of boxed yourself. You're admitting they're not going to add, even though they should add, and what kind of statement is that sending to the clubhouse? You might as well just give up the ghost now, get some good value back for the relief pitchers, and move on with the rest of your lives, and leave it up to the new owners to take care of things.
Now, the message they can send is that we're going to have to win with what we got because we don't know who the owners are going to be next year. And, we know what the finances are. It's been reported that how much debt loads they're carrying right now, so I just can't see how much wiggle room they're going to be given before the deadline. Maybe a little bit, but I don't see anything that could lead to like a blockbuster deal before the deadline. So, but you still got to try to win, man. You can't just pack it in when you're 4 games back of a wild card.
Well, but they're like one of 12 teams that are 4 games back, but whatever. So
it's 3 or 4.
Let me ask you this though. See, again, you're changing the narrative on ownership. Basically, you said, they got a lot of things percolating. It may take a little time. But I don't see any signs that this is anything but nonsense. Is there any real reason to believe that by the end of this baseball season, the Twins will announce a new ownership group?
I think there is a chance by the end of the calendar year. I don't know if it's in by the regular season.
Right.
But But I'm not speaking. I don't have any inside information that would suggest that. I just think the way things are going, we haven't heard about any momentum toward that being final. Charlie Walters had a note saying that the league has agreed to guarantee the $400 million in debt that they're carrying, which was a signal to me that yes, the debt that the Twins are carrying has been a detriment to getting the team. So maybe that will help speed up some things and get some more people interested. But I still believe. Last time I checked was last week that there were 2 interested parties. Now, the thing is, who's going to be the lead dog on this? I think they've been able to find people who want to put in like 30%, 35%. I think they need a lead dog to emerge, and that's what's been slowing things up.
Yeah, we need more than a 30%. You need somebody who wants to own the entire program, don't you? The entire operation.
Right. I think
Majority ownership.
Like I said, need a lead dog, and I don't know if that lead dog is going to be local. I think it'll be someone from out of state.
Are you watching any summer league stuff? Does that excite you?
I watched as much of the Wolves game yesterday as I could. So,
what about the presser today? Did you hear from Lori and A-Rod? Any thoughts on what they had to say? Or were you golfing, obviously? Yeah.
I was busy hitting balls in all directions at Goodrich Golf Course today. I did not know about the press conference until Krasinski was on with Sinekin this morning and mentioned there's going to be a press conference. I was like, damn. And I said, I wish I could be part of that, or at least listen in on that. And then, after golf and after the course destroyed me and beat me up and made me feel less about myself, I turned on the radio and you were talking about this jump app that's going on. I think you have a valid question about how the distribution of revenue from these ticket sales is going to go. Is it solely toward the team, or is the person who originally had the ticket and was putting it up for auction get a cut? And that would be a question I would ask.
Yes, it's a big one.
Who's getting the money from that? Because that changes the whole dynamic, I think. If it's just a money grab from the team, I think that is wrong. The person, especially if there's, a season ticket holder who's paying $500 a night for a seat, and they can't make it and they put up for auction, they deserve to get reimbursed a little bit here. So, and that also fosters goodwill with the season ticket holder. You should treat those people as golden. Anyone who walks up to me and says, I subscribe to the Star Tribune, I view them as my season ticket holder. So I give them time. I appreciate their patronage and their readership, and they allow them to ask any question they want. And I think Lori and A-Rod, in order to, in terms of fan relations, have to look at it similarly.
The devil is always in the details, and there weren't a lot of details today, unfortunately, right?
What if the driver behind you today was a Star Tribune subscriber and he just canceled because you flipped him off?
Yeah, did you ever think of that, Lavelle?
Well, how would that person know who I am?
Because you look like Al Newman.
Lavelle, you look like Lavelle.
Yeah, exactly. Al Newman, Romeo Corneli, maybe that someone else flipped them off. Or gestured toward him. I never really flipped them off. I just kept sticking my hand out on the window going, what is your problem?
So you never swore?
No, in this case I didn't. I was actually laughing during it all. I just thought I was not in the wrong. And this guy, I'm guessing this person was having a bad day or is already activated by another event and was taking it out on me. That's a lot of times these things start with someone having a bad day. That
happens. I mean, that wouldn't be the first time. I'm glad. Well, so relatively you kept your cool. Gaardsy's already fallen in love with our new shot blocker. He's ready to trade Rudy Gobert. Do you think that might be premature?
Slightly. I was impressed. He opened up his Wolves career with 2 blocks and opening possession. His timing and his positioning are really, really good. I just want to see what type of offense he has. Please, can it be at least 6 feet out or a little bit more than that? Can we work on a 10-foot jumper for him? Because in the NBA, that really makes him lethal. These pick and roll situations, if the big can shoot from the perimeter, that's a big advantage to have. And I hope they can develop that. He's only played the game for 4 years, so you're still working with like a mound of clay here. So you're hoping that you teach him skills and he develops and he's able to kind of be more well-rounded. I'm looking forward to see how this goes, but I was encouraged by what I saw from the guy.
Are you going to the Twins game tonight? Big concert. It's Nelly tonight.
No. I kind of forgot about Nelly performing after the game. That would require me to go home and shower and change and then go back to the ballpark, which I'm not fired up about doing right now. Like I said, this course beat me up. I'm trying to rehydrate. I think I'm just going to sit on my butt and watch the game from where I'm at.
Well, it looks like there are some kind of menacing clouds are moving in here west. Do we have some? Did you say there's rain in the forecast for tonight?
Potentially 40% chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a chance for some precipitation. I'm telling you right now, it's mostly sunny where I'm at, but it looks hazy. I think that smoke that's supposed to roll in is starting to come in. Yeah, like the sun is beaming on me right now. It was beaming on my shirt and helped beaming on me on the golf course. After the third hole, I was already sweating through my shirt. I was like, man, this is going to be a rough one.
Are you as disappointed as so many other people that who accuse the marketing gods at U.S. Bank Stadium of overselling their hype about what the big bold announcement was going to be about what was going to take place at the People's Stadium?
I had a great time with PA on that one because I started guessing, and he kept shooting back to me messages, all caps. Honey, I can't tell you. I'm not allowed to. Then I said, okay, what about this group? Honey, I can't tell you anything. And then Wednesday, I finally say, okay, it's got to be one or two groups. I said, it's got to be either U2 or Paul McCartney. Then I got silence. And then I responded, okay. Then I started overthinking. I said, well, they didn't say concert. They said event. So I'm like, okay, I know they're trying to get WrestleMania. Could it be WrestleMania? And then I said, wait a minute, Paul's involved. Could it be NFL draft? You know, so I'm throwing all these out. And then finally at the end he says, you're warm. I'm not telling you where you're warm at. So it ended up being Paul McCartney. I think it was a big, because the thing is, McCartney's played, I think he's played in damn near every arena the state has had, right?
That's correct.
He played at the Met with the Beatles. He played at Target Field. I don't know if he's played at TCF. Has he played the Bank?
That's a good question. Sure. I'm not sure if he's played there. He's played at the X for sure.
Yeah, he was the first. He was the first official concert in Target Field history after it opened. So
that's right.
So it's not like this is a shocker that someone of his magnitude is coming to town because he's been here a number of times. But it's still cool that he's coming. It's gonna be a great event. Yeah, they did hype this a little bit more than I think they could have. But once again, who else could have? It had to be someone on that level. If it was a concert, it had to be someone on that level. Who else would be in the U2 McCartney stratosphere in terms of musical greatness?
I mean, maybe for some people it would be U2 just because they haven't. I don't think they've performed in a long time here. I don't even know if they're performing. Right. How much? But I guess I was surprised at how bothered people were because, as you mentioned, there's really not many individuals that it could be. And in McCartney's case, I guess maybe some of it was, well, he's been here so much that it can't really be that big of a deal, even though he's a legendary name. I don't know if that's what was bothering people, but I was stunned with how many texts I got from people whose day was ruined when they fell out. What a letdown. It's like, well, I
get that part because, I mean, I can say, I said McCarthy, well, he's been here a few times. You know, that doesn't mean I'm outraged. That means I'm like, okay, that was a little bit of overhyping.
Yeah,
to go outrage, play the outrage card, I think that's going a little too far.
Yeah, that's it, apparently. You're still getting ripped for not moving over to
my approach has been tried and true for years, and I'm still alive, so I don't see any reason to change.
All right. By the way, I think Akel says McCartney has never played at U.S. Bank Stadium.
Oh, yeah, we knew that.
Well, we knew
that. I mean, but he's played in...
Well, you were asking about...
she's reacted to my statement about he's played everywhere here. Well, everywhere but U.S. Bank Stadium. Huntington
Bank was the question, too. I don't think he's done Huntington Bank Stadium, has he, Gaardsy?
No.
I don't think he's... Yeah, before he'd done that. That's what we were talking about. Taylor and Metallica would have been bigger. Somebody's texting. Okay.
Taylor's already been here, though. That would have been not really big news. Yeah. She had 2 shows here. Wasn't it back-to-back nights she was here?
It was. I was there.
Yeah, because I remember how many adults were dropping their kids off at U.S. Bank Stadium and coming back to the bar to drink before the concert was over.
I want you to get home, shower. Seems like you need you need to hose down a little bit, relax, get hydrated, drink some more water, because it can take it out of you on the golf course. And it's pretty muggy today, I think, right? The dew point was
it had.
Yeah.
And looking back on it, I didn't have to use the bathroom while I played, which means I was not hydrated properly.
No, that's not a good sign.
That's my fault.
That's wrong.
You Lavelled the golf course.
18 holes?
Yeah, I played 18.
You got to start.
I took enough swings for 36, though, I think, today.
You might need an intravenous feeding of fluids. I'm a little worried now.
Yeah, I may need some Gatorade or something.
Get something going for sure.
I lost electrolytes in that course.
What's the Sunday column?
I talked to Murnau and Brian Dozier about their experience in the home run derby and how Buck should approach the great event. Murnau actually has been giving Buck advice, and he actually had Tommy Watkins talk to Joe Vaver, who threw to him in 2008 when he won the home run derby, which no one remembers because that was the year that Josh Hamilton hit like 37,000 home runs in the first round. And I think the guy who gave Justin the award after the game actually mistakenly called him Josh. So I got that going for Sunday.
Why no Maurer interview?
I tried to reach out to Maurer on a couple of things because I actually have a Maurer note involved because a couple of his backcourt mates at Cretan, Sean Sweeney, has been named like the lead assistant for the Spurs. And Steve Serge just led Mongolian women to the 3-on-3 silver medal and got a proclamation from the president.
Nice.
Because he runs Mongolian basketball.
That's a good backcourt.
So I was calling Maurer about two subjects, but then I realized that Maurer is at Lake Tahoe this weekend for that Century Celebrity Championship Tournament.
Ah, that explains it. I was worried there was some tension between you and him.
No, as far as I know, we're pretty solid. So. All
right, and rest up, and we'll chat next week. Thank you.
Yes, we will. Look forward to it.
That is Lavelle Neal III, who apparently just hangs out in the left lane. Brought to you by Allery's Bar and Barbecue, downtown St.
Van.
Be called Left Lane Lavelle from this point forward. That could stick. That very well might stick. That's a very good point. StarTribune.com's story with this headline. Did you see it? I think it just landed. What's today? It's the 11th? Yeah.
Yep.
Landed at about 1:50 p.m. online. Here's the headline. What does the closure of beloved restaurants and music stores mean for small business in Minnesota? A number of well-known Twin Cities businesses have announced plans to close their doors this year. And then they lay out the list of establishments. Annie's Parlor.
Yeah, recently.
Closed apparently July 1.
Yep, after just kind of reopening the last year or two.
Decades in Dinkytown. Now, for a while they were in Uptown, but I think they went away from Uptown a while ago, actually.
Okay, I don't remember that.
Well, this goes back, literally to when I was living in the Uptown area. So this, I don't know how recent it was, but I know it closed a lot earlier than the traditionally popular Dinkytown location. Jaime's Records, a vinyl store that opened in Minneapolis more than 3 decades ago, closed in June. Homestead Pickin' Parlor, a music store offering instruments, repairs, and music lessons, will close on July 31 after 46 years in business. Classified in this story as the heart of the Twin Cities acoustic and bluegrass music scene. Cafe and Bar Lurecat, described as an old Hollywood-esque restaurant, celebrity magnet, and top chef training ground in Loring Park, will close after 23 years. Young Joni, a popular Northeast Minneapolis restaurant, will close on September 14. Heights Bakery, serving Columbia Heights residents for more than 7 decades, that it announced it will close on Aug 1. Palmer's Bar, a Minneapolis dive bar, once hailed as one of the best in America, pointed to a national trend in declining alcohol sales, leading to the incredibly difficult but necessary decision to shutter the 119-year-old business on September 14. So what's this all about? The reasons offered by the owners are varied. Rising rents cited in some cases. Some people, owners are ready to retire. Let me give you in the case of Annie's Parlor, they said we're just losing too much money. Jaime's Records, they didn't make enough money and had to make this decision. Cafe and Bar Lurecat, don't know if they gave a reason, whether it was lease related or not. Disputes over leases involved, or Young Joni's lease. Am I pronouncing that right? Is it Young Joni or Young? I don't know if the pronunciation is correct. The J is supposed to be silent. And Palmer's Bar, basically, they said they referred to declining sales and challenges from losing nearby businesses. The Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development reports that small businesses defined as companies that employ fewer than 500 people, make up 99.5% of all businesses in the state. Between March of 2023 and March of 2024, at least 16,000 businesses opened as 21,448 closed, which would seem to be a net loss there as well. Those are older numbers as well. So it may be a little late in today's show to get much feedback or reaction to it, but I thought it was an interesting piece that just landed. And look, I mean, there's a natural order of things that sometimes places, the time runs out on a place.
Restaurants come and go.
They do, and owners. But in this case, this is, we mentioned more than restaurants. We've got music stores and a couple other places as well. So probably something worthy of keeping an eye on, because you'd rather, you want to gain, you want to have a net positive. I don't think, we haven't talked about Uptown in a while. I don't think Uptown hasn't really come back much at all, has it? It's still, it seems like it's in endless construction.
Right.
But in terms of businesses, it's a skeleton of what it was. Unless I'm missing some late, sort of rebranding that's really been successful.
I would cede to those that go there more than me. I have not been to Uptown in, I want to say, years.
Yeah,
eat
me too.
Or go out or anything like that. I've driven through it a time or two, just trying to get places, but I have not been there in probably far too long. You used to live there. I mean, I used to spend all kinds of time there.
Yeah, you and me both. Well, let's do this. We already could have been done if we'd had summer hours.
It's true.
But that's okay. We'll come back, wrap up the show, remind you what you had missed earlier, some controversial commentary regarding the ongoing debate about, University of Minnesota athletic department shortfall, and who do we blame that on, and how do you give the head coach a contract extension and another raise in this environment, et cetera, et cetera. We got into a lot of good stuff there. And what was the other? The other major subject was the brutal breaking news regarding that Air India crash, with the preliminary report indicating very troubling things, conduct on the part of at least one of the pilots on that plane. We'll wrap it up with all of that next.
Show Wrap, presented by American Pressure, commercial-grade pressure washer since 1975.
It's the bumper-to-bumper Show Wrap.
Left lane Lavelle joined between about 5:40 and 6 o'clock, maybe 6:05. And eventually we got to some sports stuff, but look, it's universal. Any kind of traffic debate, driver conduct, how you merge, what lane you belong in. We could go weeks at a time and do nothing but that, right? I mean, it's because everybody, to a certain extent, can indeed relate to it. So.
I'm trying to figure out, because Lavelle says this guy, did he say this guy kind of came out of nowhere and went by him, or
he ended up beside him? To get around him,
right?
He went to the right lane, and then at that point gestured, is what it sounds like.
I'm just wondering, was he behind Lavelle for a long time, and that's why he was mad?
Probably.
Because if he came out quick, because it always does bother me a little bit.
If shot out of a cannon guy.
Someone comes out
of nowhere.
And
gives you no chance.
I'm happy to get over.
Yes.
I look up every 6-7 seconds.
Yes.
I went to SE School of Driving, Scott Lugins.
I'm with you on that. That I have no patience with that.
I'm happy to get over. Just relax.
It sounds like he was there for a while, and it sounds like Lavelle said, hey, I'm going 62 and a 55, so deal with it.
Right.
Which really isn't what you're supposed to do.
Correct.
But then, to me, the one mitigating factor, which we talked about, was if you have a steady line and you have a steady gap, not a huge gap, just a decent gap, the safe gap between you and the car in front of you, because there are literally there's car after car after car in front of you on the left. That's where I don't have any patience for the chumbalo behind there who's just, you got to get going, because there's nowhere to go.
Exactly right.
That doesn't give you right to get angry. But if he's there alone and there's a big gap, that's when you're better off just getting over and moving on.
Is there anything, though, more satisfying than when you've got shot out of a cannon guy, or the guy's bitter with you, and they either get pulled over right in front of you.
That's just too much to hope for.
It's so good.
Yeah.
That happens rarely, but what I always take great satisfaction in is when they do something super aggressive, they're mad at you, and then they're just stuck because there is nowhere to go. It's like, was that worth it? Enjoy that. Sit there for a while.
What happened? The best for me is they get in the right lane, and then they find themselves actually unable to get ahead.
Yes.
And then you end up zooming past them in the left lane and look back at them, and almost you can't help but wait.
It's so good
at that point. Real quick, Indian authorities confirming that fuel control switches on that Air India flight that crashed in June had been turned off shortly after takeoff. Also said they'd been turned back on before impact. The problem is I don't think there was enough time for it to even matter that they turned it back on, and you're back to how can it not be anything but deliberate if they're turned off at all literally moments after seconds after lifting off of the ground. It just does not make any sense, and that's where the questions are going to come up about whether on the part of one of these pilots it may have been a deliberate act. That's going to be, I think, a story will be followed not just there, but around the world, and certainly here as well, perhaps at the very least for the entire weekend. It's a very frightening story, and all we have so far seems to be the preliminary report. The report also suggests confusion about the situation between the pilots in the cockpit. One heard asking the other, why did he cut off? Then the other pilot responded that he did not do so, which doesn't make any sense because both were cut off, correct?
Right.
So presumably that takes more than one. I think there's more than one switch, right? So
that's what I've read.
It's very, very concerning for sure. A story that was awful from the beginning, obviously, where a plane that had literally just taken off. And what was it? What did we say? There was one survivor.
Yep. He lost his brother in the crash.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I remember. I think his brother died.
Yeah, I didn't even recall that part of it. And I don't have the number in front of me of how many were killed, but it was well over 200, was it not? As I recall, with only one survivor, 265, with only the single survivor. Tonight is a Fan on Demand, and then the Dan Patrick Show. It is our Enough Said reminder. We are doing the show back this week, regular time on Fox 9 at 9:30, 10:30 on Fox 9 Plus. I think we've got Saints tonight on Fox 9 Plus, and then we've got is it Crime Doctors? No, Crime. Some big true crime show that follows. So Gaardsy, me, and Lori Fisher reunited after taking the holiday week off last week. In addition, Fan on Demand, and then Dan Patrick tonight in the Fan, and then I'm back with, I think Blakemore's in as well, Sunday Sermons. So there will not be a replaying of the third time of the Sarah Spain interview.
But you can find it.
You can find it.
On the Barrero channel of your iHeartRadio app.
Very, very
true. And it was a good hour.
Yeah, it was not a bad hour at all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the weekend, and I will talk to you on Sunday at 9.
I'll be there. Go get them, Glenn. Show us what you can do. I'll be there.
A lot of things that are easily correctable.
I'll be there. I'll be around.
The job is done. We can go home now.